Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, the party began the voyage back to the continent of Yav. Already having traveled there once to get the Spell Twin Wands, the party returns there now in search of the complete chronology of time, otherwise simply known as the Book of Time. A gift given by the gods or even potentially outer entities of fate and momentum. This book is said to contain the complete history of the universe, including its constantly altering future. This book, as far as the party could tell, was in the hands of Don Campan, a crime boss and head of the Western Syndicate of your little HQ, Tortage. However, on meeting the man, he proved to be friendly and cooperative, however revealed that he simply has a fancy book with a bunch of illusion magic on it. What he intends to have is the real one, while a fake is put on display in a museum run by a curio pawning friend of his. However, due to some sort of cosmic mistake, the two got their packages mixed up. And Campan is more than happy to simply give you the book if you're willing to help him get it back for his friend and help him return the fake one. But he is a man with a well-known name and no shortage of enemies. So a cozy little luxury train ride for him may not be the safest or most comforting of trips. Arriving in Yav, you guys took the time to explore a little bit as you had some downtime before the train arrived. You met with some local fashionistas, a set of triplets who are friends of the Dawn, and Greylog, you requested Anna do some background research on this mysterious Dawn and report back to you with any of her findings in secret. It's a task she now seems intent on doing, as while the party is given their tickets by the Dawn, she has gone off to find you while you fetch the crew. As you guys have stockpiled the train with as many allied butts to put in seats as possible, as you suspect a trap. Alfred's family has said that the only way to get the book is for someone to die. And you all suspect the Dawn may have known this going in and intends to betray you.
Probably.
And that is where we will pick back up.
No, I fell.
Greylog.
That's fine.
As you make your way through Perha to get back to the docks and let the crew of the ship know they're getting a vacation out of this too, you're about halfway there. The dock's like just coming into sight, but you haven't quite gotten to them yet when you hear the familiar voice of the young archaeologist behind you. Greylog! Greylog!
Yes.
You're fast. So, you know how you sent me to, check the library for you?
Yes.
Well, I found a few things out. Can you walk and talk?
Contrary to most people's opinion, yes. Yes, I can.
She kind of gives a bit of a smile and, sorry. It's just not really used to all this, espionage kind of stuff. Anyway, she, to her credit, her body language and facial expressions are so peppy and friendly that to an outside observer, you easily could just be having a casual but quiet conversation. But her words carry a gravitas to them. Alright. Now, it wasn't easy, but I managed to track a few leads down. This guy, he's not just a Don. Goes back way, way longer than that.
What else you got? What'd you find?
That's the thing. I've gotten multiple accounts from multiple people, but none of them say what exactly he is. But as far as I can tell, this guy's been around for a while. Reports that exactly match him go all the way back to the dawn of the Third Age. Potentially even further back, but records going back that far, few and far between. I'd probably have to ask some, I don't know, Atlantean elders in person or something. But unfortunately, I'm not any closer to figuring out what he is. But all of the stories say that he's just drifting. He's got some kind of agenda he's serving, but nobody knows what it is or to whom he's beholden. Entities like this, they tend to be the ones getting orders rather than giving them, you know? Maybe
Interesting.
maybe he's some kind of demon? Undead, maybe?
Either that, or he could just be something else altogether. Beholden to the Boomagangers.
Yeah, that's right. Suppose that we can't discount you guys' theory. It is plausible. But if he's any of those things, really whatever he is, him having that book, even if it's briefly, is dangerous.
Well, we better not let him get it then, huh?
She gives you a firm nod, and what are you doing in the city anyway?
Going to get the rest of the crew. We're taking up as many spots on that train as we can.
She gives a bit of a grin and smart. Keep him isolated, away from his bodyguards.
If he's as old as you're saying, I don't think keeping him away from his bodyguards is going to do much good. He might be stronger than them. He may not even need them at all. Could
Just
all
keeping
be
up
looks.
appearances, yeah. This isn't good. Let's try to all get a train car together, as much of us as possible. Maybe we'll, well, no maybe to it. We're probably gonna have to discuss this once we're on the move. If he is some kind of thing, whatever he is, and he wants that book, we just need to figure out why and how to stop him.
Well, if it comes down to it, I do have something that might help.
What you got?
I have anti-gravity magic.
Ah,
He can't hurt us if he can't reach us.
and if he has some kind of ability that counteracts that?
Well, at which point, we're already fucked.
That's not comforting. She kind of gives a nervous smile as she walks along with you.
Well, just think about this. We fought worse.
We don't know that yet.
Could be like, we've already fought. Let me think. We fought a giant ass dragon. we fought like the Boomergangers with their huge ass machine gun. Like, we even went up against the elves. I think we can at least say that we've at least fought equal.
All right, just be careful out there. I'll keep doing some research, let you know if anything comes up. At the very least, I've never been able to find any stories of him directly hurting anyone. It's all through connection, through favors, and having other hands do things for him.
Yeah. Of course you'd have everyone else do it for him. He's got to keep up appearances. But don't worry, you're definitely sticking with us in that trade.
I'm gonna enjoy the. Well, I'm not gonna say even if it kills me. I'm gonna enjoy this vacation, even if I live a long, happy life to be a cranky old woman. That's what's gonna happen.
Yes, definitely. But we'll make sure of it.
Greylog, you and Anna arrive at the breaker. You can see that many of the goons, likely having been informed that there will be no vacation for them, are simply tending to the ship before dispersing into the city. You can see that you guys as crew are just sitting on the breaker, looking kind of bored. But on seeing you, along with Anna, climbing aboard, the mafia goons kind of just salute. The rest of the crew kind of stands up and approaches. And Greylog, it is the Swabby that speaks up to you first as he kind of hands on his hips, looks you up and down, and just, "Hey, what's up?"
Want to go have some fun?
You know it, but where we going?
Train ride.
Yo, wait, you serious?
Yep, Don got you all tickets.
Now, see what I tell you. Didn't I say he was our kind of guy? The rest of the crew kind of glance to each other, a little more suspicious of this, but the captain wheels forward with a broad smile on his face and should have known the old chap would come through for us. Well then, suppose it would be rather rude to turn down his hospitality then, eh what? Everyone, gather your things. We're spending the next few days in excess.
Yeah, they're already waiting back at the train station for us.
The crew starts to disperse and grab their things. The captain, for his part seeming like he was already ready to go, just wheels next to you with a smile. However, the first mate approaches you, bird still on his shoulder, massive meaty arms crossed, and standing next to you and the captain, again, deliberately seeming very unassuming, but after seeming to decide that the mafia goons aren't looking closely enough at him, the hulking man leans down to you, Greylog, and whispers, "Are you sure about this?"
Well, that's why I'm bringing all of you with us. The more people we have, the less he has.
He kind of gives a low sniff. His face is hard to read. You can't quite tell what he makes of your decision, but he does not argue with it as the crew packs, prepares, and reapproaches you, only leaving once everyone you provided a ticket for has been settled. In the end, the breaker is pretty much abandoned with the exception of the mafiosos. Every friend you've picked up that travels with you is coming along in some sense or another.
Yeah, definitely good. So he will lead them back.
All right. Alfred, Avaben, and Asari. As the dawn ahead of you approaches the conductor and starts a discussion with them, you guys are left in the crowd to just kind of survey the surroundings until progress is made on getting you aboard, basically. But you do notice, interestingly, Asari, as the train waits at the station, an ever-growing line of passengers outstretching beyond it, you can see that 3 additional train cars are being wheeled in and hooked up to the back.
Is there like somebody I can like ask about that?
You can see that standing outside of many of the cars are, if not conductors, then at least someone presumably of importance to the train. They don't exactly have a uniform, but people who are going on the train aren't likely to just be meandering outside of it.
I guess I'll just kind of just look curiously.
At the one who appears to be overseeing the hookup of these extra cars, as you look curiously, the person who's overseeing this notices you noticing them and approaches you. The figure themselves are odd, though. You initially take them to potentially be an elf, maybe, judging from the large pointed ears, but as they turn, you realize they're some form of construct. Their body is this light painted red, and from the looks of the diodes on it, appears to be constructed from a slot machine. The arms are these kind of golden metal, a little on the skinny side, but protected by these large kind of metallic orbs built into the joints that protect the presumably very weak joints.
Mm-hmm.
And they are simply, rather than having legs, balancing on a single wheel beneath their torso. Their head appears to be a decorative one of, again, seemingly an elf, although you do notice that the elf, quote-unquote, does have a comically large, almost elephantine-esque nose, almost like a cartoon character of an elf rather than a true one. But the slots of the machine spin as the construct makes eye contact with you, and tilting its head with a metallic the construct stares at you for a long moment before speaking in a voice that is dull, emotionless, and metallic. Welcome to the Tieshan Express. The slots spin and whir before coming up jackpots. Enjoy your trip in excess. How may I serve you today?
What's with the extra cop?
Guests have been complaining, so new facilities are being added. Dedicated dining car for the staff, and storage. And he gestures to each of the cars in turn as he says this.
Interesting. What are you?
The construct gives something that resembles a smile, although again it has that kind of unsettling artificial quality to it. I am a construct built to advertise, display the positive qualities of other things. They give a wide, sweeping gesture with their golden arms, and the slots on their belly spin and whir, and once again, come up jackpot. Tell me, are you excited to try our products?
What kind of products do you have that I should be excited about?
The construct folds its arms behind its back, where you can see there's a little wind-up key kind of perpetually cranking. On the Tieshan Express, we offer luxury dining offered by the finest chefs in the world. Premium, luxurious accommodations to ensure that your time to the village are spent in style and comfort. Our windows offering a view of the scenic Tieshan Valley during your crossing.
Oh my god.
And an operations record that has been devoid of any notable incident. The construct gives a bow, although it's again shaking and twitching and mechanical.
Is a raven there?
Yeah, everyone's here. You guys are just kind of see that Asari has kind of wandered off slightly and is engaged with what appears to be a talking billboard.
Define notable.
The Tieshan Express has had one report of inefficient operations.
Alright, what are those brackets?
The creature gives a low kind of incline of the head, and during an intended stop, there's a pause, and you can see the slots kind of spinning as the creature almost seems like it's thinking before. Fan of the express stopped the train, got in the way of the tracks to get a closer look at the engine. In the end, the delay made us late to our stop. And you can see the mechanical brow furrow unpleasantly. One failure. But otherwise, our record is spotless. And you can be assured security has been improved to avoid a repeat incident.
Oh yeah? In what way?
All cars are thoroughly checked at all stops. Our workers have been made aware of the potential threats of the local environment and how to counteract them. And of course, my inclusion on the train staff. And the construct gives another low metallic bow. Do you have any further questions regarding the Tieshan Express?
How are you pulling it? How does it work?
We do not pull the train, miss. The train operates using an incredibly advanced, gnomish-designed steam engine.
Would I understand this concept?
I think we've established no.
Yeah. You're going to have to be a little bit more descriptive than that, mate.
Of course. And as he begins to rattle off the function of a steam engine, Alfred, you feel a gentle, warm tap on your shoulder, and you see that the Dawn is giving you a broad smile and has a large handful of these gold and black tickets. All right. Took a little bit of negotiating. Had a lot of the pocket change I brought with me, but I managed to get yous and yous guys your tickets. And he holds out a handful of, let me double check my numbers here, 26 tickets.
Well, it's definitely appreciated.
Hey, I promise luxury. Luxury is what you get. And he gives a wave to the construct, who gives a seeming just sort of routine wave in return.
I mean, I'm not used to this, so what is it that we need to do?
Oh, that is the easiest part of this whole affair. We've gotten our tickets, don't need to worry about being left behind. Just get on board, pick out what car you guys wants to sit in. By my recollection, should be about 3 of them. Pick where you want to sit and make yourselves nice and comfy.
Sounds simple enough.
Yeah.
He gives a smile and a bow of the head. All right. Now, I'm going to stay here and make sure that all of our company gets on board here. Wouldn't want the train leaving somebody behind. Awful. Can you imagine if they missed their vacation like that? So the Don's going to make sure that that doesn't happen. You guys go ahead, get on board, get your best seats. Don's recommendation, get a window seat. Good view of the countryside while we're going.
Sorry, shrugs her chin in thought.
Of course, if you think you're the kind of guy who's going to have to make a lot of, shall we say, get the bats out of the belfry, if you'll pardon me for being a bit blue, then I'd suggest the aisle seat, seeing as you're going to have to be getting up and down all the time. You don't want to ruin the person sitting next to you's vacation just because, like, oh, sorry, my friend. I hate to have to do this to you. Really, I do. Wouldn't normally do this for anybody. But sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
When nature calls, you've got to answer.
Very true. Never, ever hang up on that call. Or any call, really. It's rude.
Alright, let's just get all of, like, the immediate, people who need to be in the first cart, just there.
Alright.
Pass out tickets.
Yeah, pass out tickets. Make sure Anna gets hers. And be like, we've got to sit next to a window. I've heard it's amazing.
Alright.
You gotta see it as death comes coming to us. Can't miss it.
If you're gonna see it, at least you're gonna see it.
Climbing aboard, you find yourself in the first of the 3 passenger cars. This one having a sort of orange and brown kind of autumnal decor. The passenger, to your surprise, not seats, cabins. Before you is a hallway spanning the length of the train car. Of course, the stairs that you took to get up inside, and several rooms, almost like an inn.
I'm assuming it's like Harry Potter-esque.
Not. It's sort of. Imagine like a classier version of that.
Yeah, something the same, Matthew?
Well, yes, but also, like, this isn't just like this isn't a double-decker sandwich. This is the Tieshin Express.
Yeah.
But looking around, you can see that there are 6 cabins in here. And overall, this place seems pretty comfy. You can see that there are lanterns next to each door, and the doors have numbers carved into them.
I guess I will look over to the party and be like, so how should we do the sitting arrangement?
I think us immediately need to be together, of course.
I just know that some of y'all have party members y'all wish to be with, so.
I mean, I'd like to see out the window with my bestie, of course, but, I mean, if we need to be together, that's uncomfortable.
I have an idea. You all speaks up.
Okay.
These are train cabins. So, let's just head into the furthest of the passenger cars. That's likely to be where people are avoiding right now. Most of these people probably would want to sit further to the front, yeah? So that means we'll have most of the cabins to ourselves. Avabin, Ollie, and I can take one. Alfred and his family can take another. You and Anna another, and so on. If we're lucky, we might have an entire car that's just us and our allies. Gives us a safe place to talk.
Oh, there is one downside to that.
We'll say at this point, Greylog, you and Anna arrive.
Oh, I thought we'd already gotten there.
No, not yet, but I'm willing to throw in that you're arriving at this point.
Yeah, well,
He's the
there
one,
is-
and it was like, hey, they're great idea, but here's the problem.
What's the
yeah,
matter?
but well, if you think about it, if all of us are in just one car, wouldn't that make an easy target?
Easy target
No.
for what?
Well, besides that, not all of us are going to be able to fit in a single car anyway. From the looks of it, I'd say these cars can only comfortably sit maybe 12 people each.
And
Good point.
if it is allegedly true that Don has some ulterior motive, I assume he doesn't want us dead right away.
There's no telling.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't do us for him very good getting us dead before we get there.
But that's if that is his plan.
You sound doubtful.
All right. Well, I'll go with you guys. Take the time to get your bearings if you need. We'll probably be leaving soon. And as if on cue, you can hear the conductor speak up, yelling over the din of the crowd. All tickets sold! All aboard! And you can hear several people begin yelling in an uproar about how all the tickets could already be gone.
I actually like to laugh to myself a little bit. Suckers.
Vane's like, maybe they should invest in a second express.
Well, this thing runs pretty much every other day anyway.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Well, Anna looks to you, Asari, and gives a smile. Well, which cabin we taking?
Let's go find the prime seats.
Roll investigation.
Okay.
Can I help?
Roll investigation with advantage.
Woo! Investigation. Okay. First roll, a natural 3. So 6. Second roll, a natural 1.
The best.
Maybe I should roll from now on. We get
Greylog,
the worst seats.
this is far from what you're used to. You're just like, here? But it turns out that cabin's like taken, or Asari just doesn't want it. Asari, for your part, you are able to at least get like a decent grip. However, much to your dismay, you're kind of operating just hazarding guesses.
Right.
However, I will give you a kind of general overview.
Okay.
You and Greylog both. You can see that as of yet, as he said he would wait for your crew to arrive, and most of the seats on this train have now been purchased, you get an idea of who you're going to be riding with, at least outside of the people you knew you were going to be with going in. The first car you guys arrived on seems like it is being occupied by 2 people right now. They are not sharing a cabin, but they are sleeping in the cabins across from each other.
Mm-hmm.
The second car is being currently inhabited by 4 passengers, who, again, none of them appear to necessarily know each other as far as you can tell.
Okay.
And finally, the third car, which, as you all predicted, is almost completely empty, except for the furthest cabin on the right. The lantern leading into that room is out, but when you pull on it, it appears to be locked. Someone's definitely inside, but does not want to be bothered.
Okay. So is there like a card next to it?
You mean like a cabin?
Yeah.
Yes. Every other cabin in this train is completely empty. No guest has taken them.
Right.
If you're curious, by the way, this one has a blue and brown color. The second one that had 4 guests had a green and brown color scheme. It appears for this one, they kind of combined the shadings of the first two cars. So everything has this kind of
So,
blue and brown seaside aesthetic to it.
okay, so is there like an empty car that Anna and I could take next to the one that's blocked?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll take that one. And while we're in there, I'm gonna see if I can drop some eaves. Just like put my ear next to the wall.
Not some eaves.
All right. You will take cabin number 12 so that
Okay.
you can spy on cabin number 14.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, we're gonna spy on people.
Also, my mistake. Cabin 16.
Okay.
So you are in cabin 14.
Okay.
So you and Anna.
I'll invite anybody who wants to, of course, come in with us.
Yeah, I'll say as Asari and Anna claim their cabin. From the looks of it, each cabin can comfortably support about 4 people. Although it would be a little cramped, obviously, if it was full. What would you guys like to do?
Alfred doesn't really have any like particular taste, so he'll just go for any cart that, after
Just
everyone
whatever's
else.
available.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I'll
can
stick
stay
to
with us.
Alfred.
And I was gonna say you can stay with us. At least that way we have some muscle.
All right. Do the two of you want to share a cabin with them then?
Yeah.
All right.
What about Oh, I'm forgetting his name.
Have
There's
Sorry.
character.
Wait, whose character?
your character.
Yours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Iverman.
Yeah. And yeah, Greylog, as you toss Avaben a kind of concerned look, seeing as everyone but him is going to be in a shared cabin, you all kind of holds up a hand with a smile and, we'll just take the one across from you guys. You'll definitely hear if something goes wrong. Although you might hear if something goes right too. Sorry about that.
Fair enough.
Azari's like, hey, no judgment here.
Ollie, you want to come with? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Of course.
Like, how dare you think otherwise?
Avaben, you do technically have enough room for one more. Do you want to invite anyone else to stay with you, or are you content as you are?
I think he's content as he is.
Okay. In that case, the current lodgings in your train are as follows. Cabin 14, inhabited by Anna, Alfred, Greylog, and Asari. Cabin 15, inhabited by Avaben, you all, Ollie, and technically, because they required a ticket as well, you all's pixie companion. And
Oh, really?
finally,
I forgot they were there.
And finally, cabin 16. Clearly inhabited, but you guys know not by whom or what yet.
It's a vampire!
Hey, I can cure him.
That's very true.
Hey, he's already proven that.
As the crowd outside begins to disperse, and you can hear crowding in the other train cars as mostly you guys as crew at this point just start trawling around trying to figure out what their cabin arrangements are going to be and whatnot. There's a pause before the door to your train finally opens, and the final guests that you're going to have to tolerate for this trip reveal themselves.
Is it the Dawn?
You see the colorful assassin Blue Moon, who gave Alfred and company the compass. She tosses you all a smirk as she enters the train and gives a Greylog. She kind of blows you a kiss and waves daintily before slipping inside one of the cabins and shutting the door.
Sorry, just kind of raises an eyebrow and looks between the two.
I put my hands up. I have no idea.
I didn't know she had the hots for you.
There's a lot of things I didn't know, apparently.
Following after her, you see Kodagwal in his transformed visage, obviously, but he kind of curiously looks around at the train, taking in this new mortal technology, and kind of sits there playing with the sliding door of the cabin for a moment before slipping inside.
Actual child.
And finally, Captain Thaun, who wheels himself into the final passenger car, looking a little concerned at first, but then when he sees all of you guys, his face breaks out into a wrinkly smile. Ha! There you all, traps! Worried that something may have befallen you, so I came looking.
Nah, you're not getting rid of us that easy.
Yeah, happy to see you too.
The door is held open behind him, and you guys see Belak and Rifiz enter the train. And Belak kind of looks around in concern before looking to you, Alfred, and... Oh, we were going to stay with you, but it looks like this car's full.
Well,
I mean, there's still room.
well, it's not the tight fit as already with 4.
We could just take the car up ahead. We'll only be one train apart.
Yeah, that does worry me though, but I would like to look at what's the our almighty dragon boy doing?
Kodagwal. He was just kind of playing with the door to his cabin initially, but after that just went to slip inside and presumably just relax. You haven't seen what he's done since then.
Alfred's gonna get up and I guess I'd also like to see what our other guests are doing.
Alright. I guess we'll tag along. Probably would be smart to keep an eye on everything. And everyone. Does anyone wish to go with Alfred?
Yeah, I'll go.
Sure, why not?
Okay. Avaben, as you make yourself comfortable in your train car with your Sherwood companions, the rest of the party begins surveying the train and those who have made their way aboard it. Alfred, roll investigation with advantage.
Sure.
And sorry, you may make an investigation roll separately, but yours will just be flat.
Cool. Should probably do better. Yes, I rolled 2 13s, so 12.
I rolled only a little bit better than that, 15.
All right. You guys, leaving the safety of your train car, begin observing the others as the boardings are finalized. You can see your crew, for the most part, has taken up residency in the second car. you can see that most of them are sticking to those they immediately know. Nitro and Nos are together in a cabin. Hugh and his caretaker together. Anyone who has a sort of immediate person to bounce off of appears to have done so. Worth noting is that you also, in Car 2, notice a few new guests that you at least take basic stock of. In this particular car, you see that most of the people here appear to be potentially performers of some kind. You can see one of them, a fellow with kind of mottled looking skin, almost like he's sick with some kind of fever, is draped in these black and red clothes, this long sort of cape-like cloak, black on the outside, red on the end, a long bended top hat, and judging from his facial features, he appears to be a mongrel of some kind. You're just not sure exactly of what. His eyes are pale, his teeth long, and again, his skin has this kind of mottled look to it, like it's not quite healthy. Another you can see nearby is a very pompous looking fellow, a large pompadour hairstyle, a long thin mustache, dressed in this bright pink long sleeve garment with jade or sort of emerald or jade green pants with simple scarlet boots. This mishmash of color, who currently, their cabin door is open. They're simply sitting cross-legged and surveying themselves in the mirror as they pluck at their chin thoughtfully. Although at seeing you guys looking at them, they kind of give this like, and shut the door. You can see one who appears to be an athlete of some kind, judging from the complete, seeming insistence on a pure collection of all sporting equipment. You can see things like blades just as much as you can see bats and boots and gloves and sticks. Littering their cabin and even some of the floor outside of it. They almost bump into you completely, Alfred, before they kind of, terribly sorry about that, excuse me, and continue to just frankly make a mess of the train as they practice. And finally, the only other stranger you see in this car is a small, hunched gentleman. Very unassuming were it not for their fur and teeth and eyes giving them away, as I will say that given your backgrounds, Alfred and Greylog, I will let you make rolls if you wish to know, but as it stands, I'm not going to assume you would know what this species is, but Asari, given your background, I will say that you're at least vaguely aware that this man is a denizen of a species known mostly to outsiders as the Brides. They are a race of weasel folk that are infamously a bit tricky, but are said to be capable of great magical feats when pushed.
Now, Matt.
What's up?
Because the Good Samaritan.
Yes.
I would like to just you know, ever so slightly, just kind of as I'm passing by, you know, lay on hands on the sicky looking fella.
Okay. First of all, roll sleight of hand.
Okay. Come on, power of Zephyr. Oh, natural 20, 22.
Oh my god!
Power of Zephyr courses through me.
Okay, wow. Okay, so you're just lay on handsing. How much are you doing?
You know, just in case you got like multiple things, I'll do 10 to, like, to try to cure.
So
Like,
yeah, cures one disease or condition affecting the target.
yeah. Or, well, I guess it's just try to be quick about it. I'll just do 5, yeah. Just to cure 1 disease or neutralize any poison.
Okay.
Turns out he actually liked his disease.
So I was thinking to myself, like, turns out this disease is what makes him like, I think it's like circus folk. So I'm like, this is what his career is based off of.
Yeah, his cool career is based on. As Asari curiously looks at the Weasel Man, who, just real quick to finish up his description, you can see he's wearing very simple, plain farmer's clothes and has a bald patch of fur on his head. Looks very unassuming and lower class. You're honestly not sure how he got a ticket here. But Alfred, ever the Good Samaritan, you find your gaze drawn back to the strange cloaked man. And making your way back to him, you can see he's in his cabin currently, kind of mumbling to himself and making these broad hand gestures. Looking closer at him, you can see that his clothes are kind of ruddy looking, and his pants are kind of patchy and don't match the shirt. This appears to be a somewhat struggling performer of some sort or another. But unable to take your eyes off of the sickly, pale pallor to his skin, you sneak in, channeling the powers of your brothers, and lay your hand against the man's back. He gives this kind of like shuddering gasp, and his fingers clench as he arcs his back in startlement from the touch. But as he turns to kind of push you away from him, and the rest of you who are here, your eyes are drawn to the scene, as are the most of the passengers. You can see the man kind of chases Alfred out into the hall, only to stop and place a hand on his chest. My heart, it's... You started it.
Uh-huh.
Empire.
Vampire.
He was a vampire.
I guess that's what was wrong. Yes.
Yes, you! What business do you have laying your hands unbidden on the great Wanchitaka?
Do I know this name? Like, how great is he?
Roll history.
Well, you just looked not well, so I wanted to help you with that. So I didn't really know your condition. I mean, I do hope I didn't overstep my bounds.
11.
You haven't heard the name in your life, Greylog. The ex-vampire, as color returns to his face, covers himself in his cloak, looking much like a bat, and leans forward with a crooked finger pointing to you, Alfred. You can see that he's wearing fingerless gloves. Overstepped your boundaries. My friend, you have no idea the depths of mistake you have made here today. The great Wachintanka places a terrible curse upon you.
Well, you can't place much worse than what's already here. He's got to deal with me.
Let it be known, you will regret boarding this train. And he slinks backwards into his cabin, and with a sort of scowl, shuts the door.
Is it me, or does he just really remind anyone else of the Count from,
I was
Elmo,
that was really good impression.
from like
The one that
Elmo.
counts?
Yes, the Count.
Count.
The Count.
Yeah, Count Dracula.
The county count.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, at least I'm not the only one that heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, far from it apparently.
Alright, now, my main
At
concern
least
was to
he's
go
not
out.
that one that was on a cereal box.
Alfred, while the man doesn't seem too thrilled, yes, you have cleansed another case of vampirism.
Removing all vampires in this world.
You're like the best vampire hunter because when you see, you're just like, ah, vampire, and then like just cure them and then just keep moving. All right. Anything else in this train car, or do you want to start checking the next one?
He wants to go for main thing he wanted to do was talk to I already forgot his name, Dragon Boy.
Kodogwal?
Yeah.
Alright. Absolutely doable. Alfred, with that encounter behind you, you and the gang slip back into the tertiary passenger car, and picking out the cabin that Kodogwal had chosen, which, if you're curious, is cabin 12. You give a knock against the cabin door, and after a momentary delay, the door is opened. Kodogwal stands there with a broad smile on his face. Man, we here already? Man, you mortals really have gotten faster.
We're not at our destination. I just wanted to talk.
Oh. Well, I mean, sure, come on in.
They'll accept the invitation and come on in.
As you guys step in, you see, despite being alone in the cabin, Kodogwal has certainly busied himself. He has already, what bags he kept, just laid them on his bed, and you can see that he's made little sort of serpentine sculptures out of the blankets and pillows of the other beds. What you guys need?
Well, I guess for starters, what have you been up to?
He kind of thinks on that for a moment, and what have I been up to? Well, mostly I've just been kind of looking around, you know? You mortals have really gotten an interesting little world. So I've just been looking around, stretching my wings when I can, stretching my legs, and he kind of kicks his legs kind of curiously as he looks down at them. Whenever I can't, all things considered, can't complain. And he runs his fingers over the wind breastplate around his neck.
And I believe you were looking for, was it your sister, right?
His face falls and they give a nod. That's right. You remember, my siblings left me on guard duty. I could smell them down there by the door, so maybe they already figured out how to get to the other side, and they'll be there whenever we open it.
But I was also wondering what is it you're doing here?
Kodogwal kind of tilts their head in thought, and am I not supposed to be here?
Nah, more just didn't seem like it'd be your cup of tea.
Are you kidding? It's basically like what I was doing before you guys found me. If the guy in the suit explained this right, I just have to sit in here, he gestures to his comfy bed. Mortals bring me food and carry me wherever I want to go. How can I pass it up?
He hasn't changed much.
May I ask who this guy in the suit is?
You know, the guy, what do they call him? Don? Everyone just calls him Don?
Yep.
That's what I was thinking, like. Wow. Yes, that is what they call him. Well, if there's anything I could do for you, I will. But I think I know what I need to do next.
Well, glad I could help, I guess.
Yes, and I'm hoping that I can help you one day.
You're already helping a lot. This goes well, I'll definitely be talking to Dad about giving you guys a proper blessing.
Not sure about the blessing. I mean, that seems like a lot for just trying to help you out, but
He just gives you a smile.
you have a comfortable ride, and I guess I'll look at the effigies or the bed
Yeah.
the bedgies.
Yeah, the bed effigies.
And he'll just give a bow and take his leave.
And what is it that you need to do?
We'll go see the dawn.
Okay.
Well, this is gonna end up killing us a lot sooner than we thought. Let's do it.
Okay. Sorry, are you coming?
Hell yeah, I'm coming.
Alright, Vaven?
Where are we going again?
Alfred just talked to Kodogwal and now has business with the Don.
Oh yeah, I guess we better go now.
Alright. Avaben, as you hear the voice of your companions return, you exit your cabin just as Alfred and the others exit theirs. And once you realize where they're going, you fall in with the rest of the group. As Alfred, you make your way all the way back to the first passenger car. Full of determination, and the train hasn't even actually left the station yet.
Well, probably for the best for what I want to do.
Oh boy.
Noted.
I'm not the stupid one.
Oh, let's see if his plan is stupid before we start putting labels on things.
Okay, my bad. I should have known better about that one. You're right.
Definitely see it being, it definitely is interesting.
There's potential for stupid.
Yeah, potential. We'll see.
Alfred, you make your way to the very front of the passenger car. This one, while still full of fullness, kidding, while it's still just as full of passengers as all the other ones, this one is a lot more off-putting. This car is full almost exclusively of a mixture between your potential enemies or people that you would really rather not be here with the other people.
Mm-hmm.
One cabin, specifically if you're curious, cabin number 1, is being inhabited by the Don, as well as Vinny and his daughter Francesca. Cabin number 2 across from them are Belak and Rifus, having been unable to get a cabin further away from the Don.
That wouldn't have been suspicious.
You can see the only other passengers in here are those 2 I mentioned you seeing earlier. For descriptive purposes, you see one of them appears to be a young child. They appear to be what I will let you guys make rolls to see if you know the history, but for D&D, player reference, a Loxodon, elephant folk. They appear to be a young elephantine boy in a somewhat too small shirt and hat. But judging from the flower imagery, they're making at least an effort to appear harmless despite their size. And another of their species, you presume the boy's father, who's currently sleeping in their cabin, the door open.
I imagine he's sleeping very loudly.
Yes, very. And Greylog, you notice that the adult Loxodon, it has a tuba under their arm, and you are very thankful suddenly that you do not have this train car.
That's wonderful. I love how that's what.
Womp, 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 womp.
That's bards for you.
But Alfred, you see that the Don's car is unlocked, and you may open and get an audience if you wish.
You know, despite my concerns, I am still going to knock on the door.
Okay.
Barge in.
Giving a knock on the cabin. Almost instantly, you hear the Don speak up. Come on in, come on in. You're always welcome before Campan. Let it never be said that I turn away potential guests. I try to treat everybody the same way I would want to be treated. And do I want someone treating me like a palooka when I just want inside for a cup of sugar? No siree, that's not what happens. Come on in, you're welcome. Mi casa es su casa.
Why do I love him so much? I hate that I love him so much.
You got that just energy about him, like, ah, yeah, it's awesome. I guess I will.
Oh, he's trustworthy.
I will open the door.
Ah, well, if it isn't some of my favorite traveling adventurers. I don't want to say my favorite. That would imply me being disingenuous with other adventuring parties. I love all of you equally, like you were my own children, my own family. Speaking of family, and he leans back, his fake cigarette still in his mouth. Please sit down and tell me what it is I can help you with. I'm going to assume that this is not just a visit for pleasure, although if that is the case, then I apologize for being presumptuous. I don't want to come off like I'm judging you for wanting things from a very powerful friend of yours. You can't be faulted for that. It's only natural. I have no intention of resenting you for asking for help.
Is there somewhere
Very interesting.
There's somewhere where Alfred can sit down.
Yeah. Him, Vinny, and Francesca are actually all sitting on a bed together. So the other beds are just open.
Interesting. All right. He'll just kind of sit down at one of the beds, and before I start, I would like to ask for your permission to use a spell and use some magic to make sure to clear the air, if you will allow it.
I see. May I inquire as to the exact nature of this arcane spellcraft that you are going to do upon me?
Well, technically, that's very selective as that. It's more the entire room itself, so. But it will not affect you negatively. Merely wish to make sure that honesty is above all else.
Ah, I see. You are concerned that I may be withholding information from you.
Yes.
Well, if that's all it is, then I'm more than happy to clear the air. Francesca, my dear Vinny, perhaps the two of you should go. Why should I leave? I don't have anything to hide. Stay in here with you, boss. You sure about this? Vinny, I've got nothing to hide from these people. They're family. Well, go on then, Mr. Gory. Whenever you're ready, hit me with your best shot.
Alright. I guess. Unless they want to automatically fail, as you can, everyone within a 15-foot radius, basically, well, I guess I'll cast it in between me and the Dawn, which I will automatically fail. Let's make a charisma saving throw. And
DC?
16. And I know when they succeed or fail.
Okay.
Charisma.
Yeah, so yeah, this goes for you guys as well. So charisma saving throw, 16 or higher.
It's 5 for me.
Alright, you're good.
Let me see. My page is loading. Saving throw, right?
Yes.
Charisma saving throw.
Charisma?
Yes.
Yes, this is just if you wish to, want to lie. Otherwise, you must speak the truth.
Well, he's a very truthful boy. Family.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
family.
totally. But
Alright. Yeah, Greylog?
12.
yeah,
Alright, you cannot lie for the duration of this spell.
Yep.
Avaben? Alright.
What's
Just
my
assuming
plus
he's
for it,
dead.
real quick?
Your plus is. Gotta pull up your character sheet specifically. Your plus to this is nothing.
So it's just a flat roll?
Yeah, just
Mhm.
flat roll.
Alright, then I'm just gonna say he didn't try.
Alright. So Avaben, Greylog, neither of you can lie until you're out of the spell, basically.
So he probably won't be saying much because otherwise he's going to give everything away.
Yeah, I will remind you guys that
You'd
are
be
under the
vague.
effect of the spell. Yeah, you are not required to speak. Just what you do say must be honest.
yeah. Must be technically honest. Is
Like, for
why-
instance, if someone says, do you know anything about this? The spell doesn't force you to say everything, you just can't say no.
You can avoid the question, though.
Yeah,
Very
avoid it or be very vague about it or however you wish. But
And-
but more
Yeah, I was
importantly,
gonna say, Alfred, does it tell you if they resist or just whether they succeed or fail?
it only tells me if they succeed or fail. It does not tell me if they if they willingly give in.
Okay. All 3 mafiosos fail.
Okay.
They are under the effect of Zone of Truth.
Well, that's important.
The Dawn leans forward as you finish your incantation, the other 2 looking at you a little more suspiciously. Alright. Well, I do think that does clear the air in this here train cabin, don't it?
Well, but first I must ask you some things.
Please,
What?
by all means.
I must ask, why is it that you have, one of our comrades, apparently got a ticket from you. He'll give the description of the Dragon Boy.
Oh yes, that sweet young man who I'm on the breaker. Well, if you'll recall, my friend, I gave a ticket to all of your little friends, as per your request.
May I ask how you knew about him?
I tried to make a point
He
to
was on the
befriend.
ship.
Yeah, I tried to make a point to befriend everyone on the ships I'm working. I think it's important to foster that sort of positive communication and relationship between the people that make the thing go and the people who are sitting at the top while the thing goes.
Alright. Well, I am glad that I am satisfied with that answer, but I guess while I have you here, may I ask, What is your plan with this book?
My plan is, well, I keep my word. You notice he chose his words somewhat carefully.
Yeah, I noticed.
I intend to let you have it.
Do you know how to acquire the book?
Of course. I would never send someone working for me into unknown dangers. It's like that old saying, never tell someone else to do something you wouldn't do yourself.
Can I try to, like, I want to look at Alfred with that look of, should I ask about the whole thing? And he's only going to try to communicate this non-verbally.
Just like, Yeah.
Should we
Yeah.
ask them?
Can you lie? Is it only if you talk, or do you also have to be truthful in like
I don't have
Gesture.
to be
your
truthful. I think
actions and gestures?
That is actually a fair question. Let me check.
So I think it just can't speak a. It does specify you can't speak a deterrable lie.
Oh yeah. In that case, yeah, there's absolutely nothing stopping you from being
Weirdly,
otherwise
just
deceitful.
yeah, just for really deceitful, like over there, or point over there.
Yeah, he went that way.
But I mean, he kind of just gives like a a shrug and just gestures towards him, you know.
So, we heard that we had to die to get this book for you. But it's in the underworld.
Ah, I see. That's what this is about.
Well, wouldn't you be a little apprehensive after finding that out?
Well, I suppose it was a little unfair of me. But call it a father's instinct. It's hardly something pleasant to talk about. I figured it might be better to hear it from the Manticore's mouth, as it were. He drums his fingers against his knee in thought, and the Book of Time is not a toy. It's one of the most powerful of its kind. They say its power even goes beyond the gods, to something else. Something even higher up. Because of that, it's got some of the tightest security on it. No one would think to look for it with an old codger like me, but if you went to the most obvious place, yeah. The only way to get it is to die first.
And when were you going to tell us that little bit of information?
Right after I told you that I was going to bring you back afterwards.
Are you expecting to do that?
He gives you a smile and leans back a bit, and would you be willing to accept I have my ways?
Well,
I would expect a little bit more explanation than that, really.
He puts his hands together and thinks for a moment. You can see Vinny and Francesca are both looking at him with seeming genuine concern. Daddy? It's alright, sweetheart. He puts a hand on her shoulder, holds one of hers in his. Vinny kind of nervously looks between all of you as the Dawn addresses you again. Let's just say I and yous were a lot alike. Not an ordinary person who could do ordinary things. Now, I still think of myself as just a normal guy. Don't go telling anyone I told you this. This is meant to be family business, family secrets. Don't want anyone thinking that I'm supposed to be the guy in charge. But he kind of, again, drums his fingers a bit. I can do things. Things that other people can't do. Including bringing someone back, waking them up after they've gotten done sleeping with the fishes. Follow me?
Oh, that does make sense. Based on your age.
I mean, anyone with a little bit of necromancy can do that.
True, but that comes with side effects. Necromancers, now, they're a bunch of smart cookies. Don't take this as me begrudging them their art. But necromancing, it comes with all sorts of side effects. What I do? He just waves a hand. No strings attached. You go down looking like a palooka. I spit on my hands, rub them together, give you a little massage. Next thing you know, you've gone from pushing up daisies to plucking them.
Have I heard of any type of magic like that?
Roll Arcana.
If I might ask, what exactly are you? I know you're not, because like, what kind of race does he quote unquote look like?
He looks like he might be elvish.
So I got a 16.
I know you're not quite just a regular elf. You're a whole lot older than that, from my research. So, what are you?
Isn't elves gonna live forever though?
Technically, but even the older elves, they have a weird look about them from the age. And he looks like he's in his prime.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of graying.
They do seem to get like I've noticed elves do seem to get old, which does seem to imply eventually they would deteriorate enough to die.
It's that they do age, but only to the point where it like is visibly affecting them. They never age to the point where it like takes a physical toll, other than just altering their appearance slightly. But it's an elf will look old, but they'll never feel old. But that being said, sorry.
A lot of the look of being old is because of degeneration of cells.
Well, in real people, yeah.
Magic.
Sorry, you would know that he actually isn't, at least intentionally, lying. However, he also isn't kidding that the power it takes to do that magic is incredibly rare. As far as you know, there actually haven't been that many documented people who could do it in your homeland. The only people that immediately come to your mind as famously having achieved that feat, resurrected from the dead with no side effects, and it was a clean resurrection. Like they don't require magic to live, their brains aren't damaged, they just are dead 1 minute, awake the next, and everything's good. Were dragons, specifically Yavik dragons.
I had a feeling that's where this was going. If I look into his eyes, are his eyes gold?
I did mention they had that shine to them.
I'm going to approach him and sit. Can I sit next to him?
Francesca and Vinny kind of clutch at his arm.
She's not being like aggressive at me.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just saying what they're doing.
Yeah.
But eventually he looks to them with a calm smile and gestures for them to stand off the side of the bed and allow you to sit.
Look him like deeply in the eyes. I think it's time you told us.
All right. He holds up his hands, and You can see Francesca kind of step forward. Daddy, no! It's all right, sweetheart. I'd rather have people asking me for favors than being afraid of me.
It's not that I'm afraid of you. I just want to confirm some suspicions I have.
Well, what you're probably thinking is true. The Don Campan is a half-god.
Yeah, I figured something like that. Why else would the gods trust you with it?
Well, that's saying if they trusted with them at all.
I don't think trust is the right word, if I'm correct about that. I mean, don't take offense to that. It's nothing against you.
I try not to take offense to those sorts of things, sweetheart. Don't you worry.
Was the item ever to belong to you before?
It's always belonged to me.
How so?
Let me guess, you made it, didn't you?
Hardly. My wife tells me otherwise, but I don't think I'm very good with my hands. No, see... He kind of adjusts at his tie as he thinks a bit. Chronomancy is a tricky business. Tricky business. Sure, it's one thing to fast forward and rewind an apple. Make it look, oh look, got eaten, started rotten, now it's back to normal. That's one thing. But when you start doing that with folks, the dice start to bite back against you a little bit. It's hard to get everything just right, you know? So, not that many of them left these days. Way I hear it, there's only one Perusian college that teaches how to do it anymore. And Yavik Dragons. He gives a bit of a smile and leans back with a grin.
That's what I was leading into.
He gives you a tip of the hat. You really are something special, Dr. Koo. You really are.
I'm not all that. It's just simple calculations, really. But I'm curious. Why all the lies up until now? Why was it until we had to sit you down and present the truth to you?
Because, you see, in the past I've tried to be more open about this, but people tend to have expectations about these sorts of things, you know? You say, hey, hello, I am Campan, I'm gonna be the new godfather, I'm a half-god, full disclosure, but don't you worry about it, I'm just like you. But the thing is, I'm not just like you. You, all you good people in this room, when you bleed red.
You bleed gold.
People start to get scared of you. People start to ask you for favors. And I'm more than happy to provide, but they were bleeding him. Daddy was losing sleep every night, trying to get to everyone. No one ever knew when to stop. Nobody cared about him. So we started lying. Started saying that he was just a normal person like them. That got people to leave us alone. It wasn't my idea. I would have preferred keeping things to the original system, but
I see it. Yeah.
It's understandable, really, but you have to understand it's kind of frightened the rest of everyone else, thinking that we can't trust you because you're not ink fully translucent with us.
What a conundrum. Well, I suppose there's only one thing for it then. You're right. Full disclosure. We gotta go back to the way things used to be.
I wouldn't go that far, but just you have to pick and choose who you reveal these truths. But for us, you can trust us. I don't. At least I have no plan on betraying you. Though I am curious about one thing.
He gestures with a smile for you to continue.
What is it you want?
He gives a smile. I want to help you.
Why do
Why?
you wish? Why do you wish for the book then?
I don't. I told you I was just gonna give it to you. I take care of it as a favor. He
Here's an
winces a bit.
interesting idea. Do you know what's behind the door? Exactly what's behind the door?
This actually brings Campan to a quiet. Yeah, I do. He puts his face in his hands and rubs his fingers along them before he looks to you. And seems kind of confused, like he didn't quite hear you.
I was saying that we want to keep the gate shut.
If it is said creature that we've been hearing about.
Creature is not exactly the word I would use. It's a man, just like any other. Well, in the same way that I'm a man compared to all of you, anyway.
What I'm afraid of.
See, the Second Age was, let's call it a trying time. You see, all this, and he gestures out the window where you can see the, while the train is starting to rumble but hasn't quite started moving yet, you can see just the beautiful stretch of the Tieshan Valley and then, of course, the Sprintwood. There didn't used to be all this. Back in those days, it was just little scraps of land, everyone forced to rub elbows with everyone else, and people started fighting over it. If anyone could get anywhere, everyone starts getting ideas about what's theirs and what isn't.
Well, we have always been that way.
Well, before the gods put their heads together and realized how to make it stop, there used to be one guy that was, well... You ever meet somebody in a group of people, like a classroom? You look at them and you think, this guy, everyone's doing the same thing he's doing, but this guy's the best at it. You ever get that feeling?
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. Armies that had taken centuries of effort just to equal. He snaps his fingers. Brought down in single nights. Empires that had withstood every test the universe threw at them. gone. Crushed beneath a boot. Like a little bug. They say he was completely untouchable, and honestly, I'm inclined to believe it. He never took a hit in battle, not once. Not until his own sons finally turned on him. Whatever it was he got up to, up in that little lair of his, he had it figured out. Something that everybody else didn't. Everyone else was fighting the war. This guy figured out how to win. But, of course, all empires die eventually, as do their emperors. And, since the gods had only just put their heads together afterwards, no afterlife for him to go to. So, they say his spirit just wanders. Maybe eventually it'll find peace, maybe not. But I think we all know that in a debate of war and peace, our guy's gonna take the first option. He kind of nervously licks his lips a little bit and...
So if we open that gate, he gets free.
Whatever he did to make himself as strong of a fighter as he was, it did something to him, to his body.
So he's just not even who he
I never
was.
saw it myself, but I've heard been. Not quite. Like I said, it was before the underworld even existed. There was no afterlife for him to go to when he died. But that's not the only weird thing. I've heard stories. The people that saw his body before they finished the tomb. It's been centuries since that man died. But if the stories are to be believed, there's not a single cobweb on that cadaver.
Strange.
Whatever it was, maybe it's the clothes, maybe it's those things he ate. Whatever it is, it's got him preserved.
What did he eat?
He was always worried about assassins destroying his food supply, trying to starve him out in a siege. So he kept his own food supply in his palace. Some sort of cultivated fruit.
Hmm. What was his name? Maybe I can do some research.
Narusima, the king of beasts.
Alright, before I do any research, do I already know anything about this guy?
Roll history.
Great, I'm sorry. This is where you shine, babe.
Let's hope the dice agree with you.
I am too tired to go get real dice, so D&D&D&D do not fucking. Uh, 15.
Alright, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. You do remember the name. You recall that Avaben's elder in Sherwood
Mm-hmm.
gave a warning of the same name.
Mm-hmm.
An ancient Second Age warlord from a time before the world was split and when war was the resting status quo. There was one warrior, the King of Beasts, who stood over all and brought nearly the entire world under his boot. Only stopped by the timely intervention of his sons, who struck out against their father and home to bring him down. But yes, it is a well-known fact that the underworlds were not constructed until after the Second Age.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, all those, good or evil, who die in the Second Age or prior, their souls simply wander. You have heard, for instance, that the souls of those from the First Age, which were said to be golden and pure, are often sought after by dark wizards who hope to use their potent energy. And of course, a soul will likely not be able to defend itself. Others, like this, you know of to be potentially even more dangerous to the world around them. It is indeed, as the Dawn says. You never made the connection, but you realize that two seemingly unconnected stories you and Anna heard in college might be one and the same. There was, of course, stories of the Divine Doorway, a door only able to be accessed when the gods are forming the council and discussing cosmic politics together. That door, and the stories of what may or may not be behind it, have gone back centuries and have always been a very popular topic among treasure hunters. You also have heard another story. That Narusima, the king of beasts, a cruel, vicious totalitarian who led armies of completely obedient and mad warriors to crush all who stood in his way. They say that when he died, the gods knew that such a potent soul could not be left to wander. But it would be breaking their own newly established rules if they just simply took his soul and called it a day. Not to mention, who could be trusted with a task like that?
Mm-hmm.
Hades? Hela? Who would you trust to keep one of the most vile and powerful souls contained? Who would bear the responsibility of potentially failing? So eventually, the gods settled on a new solution. Forming their pantheons and approaching their people, the first organized, dedicated, and comprehensible religions, the gods gave the first clerics their first orders. Build a tomb. This body must never be seen. And so a city was built. A great tomb built over the desert of a kingdom that the King of Beasts had conquered. And in the tomb, surrounded by miles of sand, protective enchantments, and the monsters that stalked the land, the gods decreed that here in this tomb, the body would be sealed. None would ever see it. Because if anyone sees it, that opens up the risk of it walking again. The soul is out there somewhere. Someone will know how to find it. All it takes is one stupid, arrogant, and frankly thoughtless necromancer to find the body, find the soul, the two back together.
You see the gears turning in her head, and a flash of panic goes into her eyes. I think we actually might be in a bit of trouble.
The Don leans forward with his brows furrowed.
I look at her, even okay with me revealing this to him.
No problem.
Don't want you to think I trust you, Tom. I like been very kind, and my friend is very, very, very cautious about it. It's nothing, I'm sure. And she might have done something that might screw us. So,
Well, I'm sure whatever mistake they may have made can be corrected given time. Tell me, what exactly was the nature of this friend of yours' error?
this man, this man, really, to bring honor, is walking around this earth. God knows where and why, how, that. And I thought to myself, all it takes is one very necromancer, and we might have contact with one. I don't know who this person is. All I know is that they are a friend of it's Alfred now, of his brother. That's all we know.
I see.
And this person was supposed to help us if all else failed, because we didn't know if we could trust you.
You could see Francesca kind of get like a little bit of like a like offended look on her face, and Vinny kind of scowls, but the Don for his part just kind of gives a little shrugging nod of the head, like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. No, I knew he would get it. I knew he'd get it. I don't mean to offend you. Please don't be offended.
Oh, no, please. Speak plainly. You have no need. I always say, if enough people in the same room say that you're the asshole, well, then I think at the very least it pays to look in a mirror. Now, I understand your concerns, but you don't need to worry. I promised you were going to be safe on this vacation. Meant every word of it. While it's certainly true that if this necromancer of yours was to have access to his soul and were to, in theory, resurrect it into a body of some type, that would be bad. But
I think that's bad is putting it nicely, Don.
But while he's certainly a scary thinker, putting him in a different body is going to weaken him. He was a big and strong, scary old guy back then, too. Now, I certainly don't want to get into a game of chess with the guy if I can avoid it, but if a necromancer puts him back in just any old body, we might at least stand a chance.
I didn't like that she even contacted this necromancer in the first place. Like you said, necromancy can be very messy.
Well, he kind of rolls his head a bit in thought, and Greylog typed in the chat, but I will fill in. Greylog does point it out. We do know where his soul is. The Don leans forward curiously to you, Greylog, and gives you a nod of the head and a gesture with his splayed fingers. In the meantime, he looks to you, Asari, and... well, I wouldn't get angry at her over this. You said it yourself. She's got something to fear from folks like me. She's lived in this town for too long, and it does things to you. You start to see threats skulking around in every alleyway. I'm not going to be remiss of that. And she took the time to contact people that you know, that you trust.
I'm not angry with her. I'm just being cautious about this necromancer. And now that we understand the full story, and we're actually being translucent with each other, I think it's important for all of us to be on the same page. regardless of this being a vacation or not.
The Don kind of furrows his brow a little bit and seems like he's going to argue with you. Like, no, I'll protect you and you just vacation. Greylog says that he recalls the soul of Narsima being trapped in an item, some sort of lamp.
Why is it always a lamp?
Yeah, why is it always there? Do I remember this shit?
Roll history.
This is what I get for being missing for a week. Okay. Natural 5, so 13.
Yeah, that sounds right. It was some kind of lamp, and yeah, it had Narsima's soul in it. It's been a hot minute, but yeah, you think you remember what Greylog's talking about.
That sounds vaguely familiar, I suppose.
Well, leave it to you guys to find the discovery of the age and not tell nobody about it. Seems like even you've forgotten. But are you sure that's right? Now, I don't mean to come off like I'm questioning your wisdom. You're clearly very smart people. You've got all this figured out. You're good at what you do. But it just seems a little odd to me that a soul like that just ends up in a lamp.
It does sound odd, doesn't it? Maybe we should consult Anna. I mean, she's been studying this a lot longer than I have.
Indeed. See what she knows. And if you do happen to have the spirit of Narsima kept in a lamp, well then, that makes our job going forward a lot easier. Be sure to tell me if that's the case. Now, is there any other questions I can help you find people with? I hope that having a bit of context about me and my life has made you more willing to put your trust in me.
I'll look to the others.
I mean, I will say for the most part I've trusted you, there's been a lot of stuff that's been going against you. So
a lot of speculation.
Francesca kind of scrunches up her nose a bit, but the Don just puts a hand on her shoulder with a smile, and hardly the first time. Thank you for bringing these concerns to my attention. And Greylog, as you pipe up, just be aware, if I die, you might have to combat Lady Hell for my soul. He just kind of gives a wave, and I don't think there's going to be any need for that.
Hang on, what? Is this the first time he's informing us of this?
the Lady Hell.
Yeah.
No, he's mentioned it. He even said that's why he named his tavern the Hella Good Tavern.
Okay. For some reason, my brain just did not connect that.
You're good. Alright. If there's nothing else.
Nope.
I'm satisfied if everybody else is.
Alright. Alfred, your questions answered, although more questions brewing in your mind. You return to passenger car 3 and take your seats. Ababen, you're in a cabin with your friends of Sherwood, and the rest of you are in a shared cabin with Anna.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Anna know that guy, like, we got the truth out of him eventually.
Half god.
I mean, I know that there's not very many documents about it, but it kind of adds up.
She kind of shakes her head and, well, if he's a half-god, and the gods are letting their standards go down.
I'm not disagreeing with you there, I'm just saying the fact.
She furrows her brow and goes to make some kind of response, but you hear the voice of the conductor, who is now standing, lantern in hand, at the station. Most of the angry crowd has parted, leaving just the people who were just seeing the train off before it leaves. The night sky outside, the lighting in the train shifts as a candlekeeper goes to each of the lanterns and makes an adjustment to them, bathing the train in this kind of yellowish, almost sunset-like lighting. And you hear as the Tieshan Express gives a whistle and the conductor begins to wave with the lantern. And all of you in your respective train cars, your doors are opened by a unfamiliar looking figure. A strange looking woman, a little on the hefty side, dressed in a black dress with yellow, almost lightning-like patterns on it. Her hair is black, but kind of thin and short. Just kind of has like a small curl to it. But her face is warm and friendly, although her eyes have a kind of sunkenness to them. And you also notice are a gleaming red.
Huh.
Hello, everyone. I am Vesmova. I will be looking after you during the extent of your stay here on the Tieshan Express. You may contact me or any of my staff if you have need of anything. Dinner will be served shortly, breakfast in the morning. And please, I would ask that you wait until we are fully in motion, and then we will let you know when you are free to roam about the cabins. Any questions before I set out? Very well. Thank you for choosing the Tieshan Express. May you enjoy your excess in excess. Greylord, make a nature check. A hot minute before I 12. You're not sure, although I will say she appears to potentially be an insectoid of some kind, but you're not certain. And you only know that much because, as none of the party seems to have questions for her, a small pair of rounded but transparent wings emerge from her shoulders, and she starts to kind of hover a little bit off the ground as she makes her way to the next cabin. Sorry, since you said you deliberately wanted to listen in on the cabin next to you, you heard nothing from them during, while the train was getting ready, but I will say you do hear, as Vesmova opens up his door, you hear her use what you presume to be the man's name, as she gives them the same spiel as before. Don't move until the train's fully in motion, and then you're free to roam about the cabin. But then when she gets to the end, will there be any questions or concerns, Mr. Custerbath? There's a pause for a moment, and finally, Asari, you hear the voice of what appears to sound like a very high and mighty Bretonnian respond back to her. Oh, well, I would hardly know. Is a lepton truly a compound particle?
Does this... Okay, do they sound familiar? Do I know this?
Roll history.
Okay. I feel like this might be somebody I actually know.
I'm afraid I'm not certain, Mr. Custardbath. Then you should know, fundamentally,
I don't know.
if you cannot comprehend even this basic information, then I'm afraid this conversation is not going to be intellectually stimulating enough to justify losing sleep over it. Good day, miss. The slamming of the door.
Yeah, I got a 10.
The name is familiar, but you can't put your finger on it.
Oh, can I just like whisper to Anna, and I'll tell her what I heard.
Wait. Custard Bath? And you said he had a Bretonnian accent?
Yeah, like really snotty.
Oh my gosh!
Me!
That is Buffalo Custard Bath! He's the best detective in the world!
Oh my god! Why didn't I recognize him?
Well, we've never heard his voice before. We've just seen him in writing.
Oh my god!
What is he doing here?
Maybe is he gonna like try to find the guy?
Oh, maybe he's on the same case as us. He could help us.
Oh my god! Wouldn't that be like fucking amazing if he was on the same case?
The Boomergangers wouldn't stand a chance.
Oh.
He would outsmart them.
Oh my god!
Fundamentally, he says. Fundamentally, it's such a cool word.
Oh my god! Okay, I want to go talk to him so bad.
Oh my god, we're absolutely going to talk to him.
I'm gonna take her by the hand.
Alright, Greylog does pipe up. Investigate him, of course, but don't badger him.
No, Azari does not make any mind of that.
Alright, does anyone want to go with the two fangirls?
Is a Vaden around?
You're in the compartment opposite, but I'll say that because you are also being given the spiel by the owner of the train, you do see Asari and Anna slipping out giggling to go investigate cabin 16.
So you didn't hear the conversation?
Asari, as you arrive, the door is once again locked.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
I said I had no need for your services. Good day.
I'm a completely different person.
There is a moment of pause before.
I'm just gonna like look at Anna with like bated breath, like
Yeah,
oh
no,
my.
she is ecstatic, and you both have to contain yourself a bit as the door opens.
I'm just like cover my mouth so I don't squeal.
Standing before you is the famous detective Buffalo Custard Bath. From the neck down, appears to be human. They are wearing a simple vest with no shirt, these kind of baggy-looking cloth pants, very similar shoes. Their clothes are just kind of patchwork. I say from the neck down human because from the head up, they appear to have what appears to be a fish head. A dark, round, almost piranha-like fish with orange fins and black scales. They quirk a brow at the two of you, roll their eyes, and lean against the doorway of their compartment, and hands in their pockets as they look over the two of you, and... All right. Let's try to keep this short, shall we?
I mean, it is so amazing to meet
Right.
you. I'm sorry, and this is Anna.
Sorry, Anna. From your bearings, you're both educated. From your accent, you're Britannian. My guess is you are studying at the capital's university, getting a degree in... archaeology?
Well, I've already graduated.
She...
Sorry. Actually,
He kind of looks you over, and... Fundamentally, yes, I suppose that's obvious. You graduated, you're now traveling with an adventuring party of... 4? Maybe 5 in total? One appears to kind of dip in and out. And you're currently traveling... Given that you're on this train, you're of course going to Adine unless you're terrorists. Assuming you're not terrorists, I can always tell a terrorist, then you must be heading for Adine, which means, more than likely, you're interested in one of the artifacts there. Now, there are a number of artifacts that could justifiably retain someone's interest, but my guess is you're after one in particular, especially given that you're approaching me, likely with intent of probing my intellectual mind. Fundamentally, I suppose it must be obvious you are after the complete chronology of time.
I've heard that he could do that. It's amazing, actually, watching him do it.
I know.
I heard that you can tell by, like, somebody just by, like, the left thumb or something.
You come from Tortage, the center of the island specifically, although you live on the north side of the center, towards the jungle.
You've got to have done research, obviously.
No, it's obvious. By the wood shavings and gravel on your boots. Tortage is tropical, that would explain the tropical origin of the wood itself, and that sort of cheap gravel would only be in a place that is Britannian visited, but not Britannia owned. Given your accent, you had to be a Britannia native, so I figured likely you had to travel somewhere where you wouldn't have lost the accent yet. A place where the accent is still used would be best, so Tortage. It's just fundamentals, really. Anyone could figure it out.
Are you working on this case?
No. In fact, I'm on vacation.
Oh, I'm sorry to bother you. We just thought that maybe you were on the case and we were excited to you know, talk with you about it.
I'm sure.
I mean, don't you think it's a little bit interesting?
No.
I mean, a big secret door that nobody knows what's behind it. People
It's not
fighting
that
for
difficult to guess.
different artifacts. Come on.
He kind of stares at you for a minute, and... You know, I don't do what I do out of any misplaced sense of importance. At least not on the actions themselves. I do what I do because I am capable of doing it. I need intellectual stimulation. Trials, if you will. And this, I'm afraid, is simply not it. Anyone with a half-functioning cortex can put the mysteries of your little adventure together. I see no reason to stoop down to your level. There are a lot of obvious things you appear to be missing.
Please enlighten us.
Well, for instance, if you had been paying attention when the owner of this train spoke earlier, you would know that... sorry, make me a dexterity save.
Okay. Dexterity save. Saving throw plus 1. 8.
The train gives a jolt as it starts to move. Anna stumbles and has to go into that full, like, arms splayed out posture to catch herself. You just go full on stumbling and were about to faceplant when the detective catches you and stands you back up. Anna stares at you with a look like if she had a knife, she would kill you then and there and feel nothing.
She can see Asari is frozen in
At least in the
place.
moment.
She's like, he's touching me, he's touching me, he's touching me.
The train is about to move, and they said that all should be in their cabins when it happens. Good day.
Well, I mean, we could come into your cabin, and I do happen to have chest if you need stimulation.
Good day.
I'll just look over to Anna helplessly.
Anna. Wait, maybe we could. Never mind.
Never meet your heroes, I guess.
She kind of scrunches up her nose a little bit at the door, but eventually shakes her head. Well, I guess technically we're on vacation too. Might as well start enjoying it.
Sorry, just kind of like shuffles, and she just says, "He touched me."
Oh, I know.
I am never watching the clothes.
Are you attached to that part of your arm?
Very attached.
Like, how attached? Are you like married to it?
I mean, I'm. It's attached to my body, Anna. What do you think?
Seems negotiable.
No, you're
At
not
this point.
having my arm. You can't have it.
At this point, the two fangirls make their way back into the cabin, and as the train picks up speed and achieves its cranking max, you guys are free to explore the train as you wish. Eventually, as cabin doors are opened by curious travelers who are hoping to explore more of the train, that construct you had spoken to earlier, Asari, begins making the rounds with a huge, odd-looking machine in its wake that just kind of follows it. And as they come to you guys' cabin, the construct gives a cranking bow before, hello, guests of the Tieshan Express. May I interest you in refreshments?
What do you have?
What do you wish to have?
I feel like at this point, both Asari and Anna would just simultaneously say coffee.
Brewing coffee. The slots on their stomach begin to move and spin, and the machine that was following them kind of begins to crank and whir before finally a faucet sticks out of the mess of metal, as does a cup. 2 cups of coffee, which the construct lifts and holds out to the two of you.
Alright, how good is this coffee?
Very damn good. That's some damn good coffee.
This is better than the one back at home.
Anna is staring down at her cup and is already reaching into her backpack and pulling out her thermos and like just kind of waving it at the robot, who turns to Greylog, and alcohol coming right up.
Oh my god.
What is your poison, sir?
Greg.
And in the meantime, does anyone else want to order anything specific? Okay. Greylog, you are offered a fiery hot bottle of Red Drake rum. A Perusian classic. Enjoy, sir. The costs of your ticket have already accounted for the cost of refreshments, sir. Please, enjoy yourself in excess. They give another bow.
And I'll just kind of we'll kind of like have a little coffee break, looking out the window, and just disappointed in our guide.
Now, as mentioned, if the runners of this express are to be believed, as is the Dawn, you'll just arrive at your location tomorrow night. And the cabins are quite comfortable. So with that, what is the plan for the night? You guys just want to bunk down? What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna sleep.
All right, sorry's tucking in. Anyone else?
He'll make sure the space is tidy, but yeah, he'll sleep.
Okay. All right. In that case,
Am I muted?
you were, but we can hear you now.
I don't think I was. I think I just wasn't saying anything yet.
Well, we can hear you now.
Everybody is muted. I don't know. I had something, but then I lost it.
That's okay. You can just bring it in later. All right. In that case, as you're all given refreshments by this construct, you're all left to enjoy yourselves for the rest of the night. Greylog, you drink. Asari, you and Anna enthusiastically look out the window. While the dark doesn't give you a lot in the way of visuals, it is still very pretty, especially when you can see the moonlight reflecting in the sea.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we're very much enjoying the scenery.
You do, however, notice that it is a bit cloudy. You're not sure how well the weather is going to hold up.
Like it looks like it's gonna like storm, like bad storm, or just like storm.
Roll nature.
Okay. How bad is storm? I feel like this is the druid's job. If I fail, I'll ask him. 11? They look like clouds.
I mean, yeah. Basically, you don't pick up anything looking closer that you don't already know. You're not a meteorologist.
Yeah, I'm an archaeologist, not a meteorologist.
Very true.
Yeah, I'll just like look over and just be like, maybe we're in for some rain.
Yeah, looks like it. Well, good thing we're in here, not out there, huh?
I mean, I'd like to sleep when it rains, so it's fine.
As you all pass the time with whatever method you choose to pass it with, eventually, sleep comes for all of you. You all get a long rest.
Yeah.
However, your awakenings are not exactly smooth.
Is it pleasant?
You are all awoken with a start as you hear a woman scream loud and cuttingly from further up the train.
All right. I'm gonna run and see if I can't locate who's screaming.
All right. As As all of you are awoken by the scream, Asari immediately just dives out of bed, clothes and equipment on, and starts running to see what the problem is. Asari, as you leave your room and look around, you can see that Avaven appears to have been woken up by the noise as well, as have the rest of your party members. However, you notice that the door to cabin 16 is open, and there appears to be no one inside.
Yeah, the detective is not there anymore right now. Okay, I'm just gonna go see if I can't find out who's screaming and see if I can help.
All right, what are the rest of you doing?
I will follow.
All right, Greylog. Okay.
It sounds like he has really bad service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And Avaven, you just gonna go with the group or stay where you are?
Yeah, they will investigate what this screaming is.
All right. All of you grouping up, even your companions, curious about the noise following you, as you head to the door of the train. And while crossing between the two of them, this is an old-fashioned train, bear in mind, so you have to do that thing of actually crossing that little narrow pathway between the train cars, and you guys are gearing yourselves up to do this whole nerve-wracking crossing before Asari, as you throw the door open and the rest of your party takes up behind you, you realize you don't have to worry. The train's not moving. The reason why, immediately obvious. As all of you catch up behind Asari and look around, you can see, stretching in all directions around the valley, is a blanket of snow.
Oh, wow.
Thick snow that fell on the train in the night. And it seems eventually buried it. The train is, while by no means completely encapsulated, the snow has built up thick enough on the track to where it seems like it cannot safely move forward.
Have I discovered who was screaming and why?
Not yet. You want to keep moving?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, with your trip safer and easier, you make your way into passenger car 2, and you see no one there. Finally, you make it to passenger car 1, and everyone is there.
Yeah.
You see that all of the passengers are up there and are frantically arguing with each other. Up at the head of the group are 3 individuals. The Construct, the Vesmova, the owner of the train, and a third figure who you do not recognize. Another one of those elephantine people creatures, who is dressed in very simple, casual farmer's garbs. You would take him to be just another lower class passenger, but he stands next to the 2 people who actually work on the train, so you imagine he does something or other. You can hear a bunch of people complaining, but most apparently, as Vesmova waves a ringed hand above everyone's heads. Everyone, please. I am very sorry, but until this bit of bad weather clears up, this train is not going anywhere. It shouldn't be long before the snow melts. We get snowstorms like this around here all the time.
Question. Can I pray to the nature spirits to see if they could help?
Greylog, roll... That is interesting. Roll nature, and we'll circle back to you.
Okay.
How far is this? How bad is this?
The snow, from what you saw, appears to be buried at, you'd say it's covered up the tracks and the train itself about You'd guesstimate maybe at the highest 6 inches.
Okay. For like how long, like the range, like how stuck is it?
Roll nature.
Yeah, I just like want to see like how.
Well, no, we're trying to figure out like what you were actually asking.
Yeah, like how far? Ooh, okay. 20. Dirty, nasty 20.
All right, 19 from Greylog. Anyone else have anything, or are we good?
I'd have an idea.
Okay.
Nope.
Sorry, something came up. What happened? What were they rolling for?
They're rolling nature. Greylog wants to see if he can appeal to the nature spirits to alleviate the train of this problem, and Atari is seeing if they can essentially get an idea of like how bad the situation actually is. Greylog, as you sit down a bit away from the rest of the crowd, you begin to pray. And as you pray, you have a vision.
Ooh.
When your eyes open, you are no longer on the Tieshan Express, Greylog. You're in a jungle. The jungle itself is foreign to you, but almost instinctively you know where you are. Suicide Hollow. You're being watched, though you know not by what or from where. As far as you can tell, you're completely alone out here. You hear a voice, almost adorable, were it not sinister in its context. You want our help? Well, I suppose you are a druid. Greylog, you feel your pockets begin to get filled with something heavy and metallic.
Oh no.
Well, go on. Here's your help. Take it. Take it.
Oh no.
What's is you staunchly ignore the temptations of the nature spirit. And after a moment, it stops and the weight lifts. You still see no one, but you can almost feel a pout as you hear the sound of cracking branches as whatever is observing you kind of circles around you. Why should we help you? In the meantime, while you type... Oh, sorry. Looking out the window at the surrounding snow, by your best guess, with how buried the tracks and train are, it's gonna be at least a day before the snow melts enough for the train to move again, at least on its own. And that's assuming it doesn't snow again tonight.
The construct is here, right?
Yeah, everyone on the train appears to have come here for this problem.
Quick question. If, say, an act of God would happen, and say, maybe a fireball falls from the sky to melt the snow, would it affect us immediately? all hypothetical, of course.
You can see the passengers start to like get spooked and like talk amongst themselves in a panic. And Vesmova kind of winces a bit and please maybe don't throw fireballs at the train.
I'm saying at the train, I'm saying the train track.
Miss, I'm afraid even if that didn't damage them, there is snow like this in all directions.
Is this like unseasonable for this season?
With your earlier nature check, I'll say it's not unseasonable, just unfortunate timing.
I'm gonna, while Greylog prays, I'm gonna go see if I can't find the dawn.
Alright, in the meantime, Greylog, in your vision. I have no reason good enough, but we need the help in order to prevent the destruction of the world. Greylog, roll persuasion.
Woo! Good luck. I'll be blessing my new dice tomorrow.
Greylog, you feel like you stated your case as heartfeltedly as you can. The spirit still doesn't reveal itself, but you hear the voice speak up behind your ear. It's lost its hostile tone, although it's not necessarily friendly either. This is your trial. This you solve alone. Come back the other side, learning to give for others, and you will be forgiven. The spirits of the dragon hunts watch you. Vesmova, for her part, gives a sigh, and I'm afraid unless any of you have a way to clear up this weather, we're going to be delayed by at least a day. Alfred, you and Avaven give a twitch, and Greylog, you're startled out of your meditation as you hear it again, that woman's scream that had awoken you in the first place. And you see on the ground is that person who had the pompadour in the second passenger car, who's just on the ground wailing at the injustice of the train being delayed. After a bit of pause, Asari, as mentioned, everyone's already here. You track down the Don, who is currently in a conversation with the detective, Mr. Custardbath. They both look to you, Mr. Custardbath kind of with a nonplussed expression, somewhat irritated. The Don,
I'm gonna give it right back to that bastard.
But the Don, for his part, gives you a friendly smile. Well, hello again. It would appear that we just keep coinkadinkly running into each other.
Sorry, gives a smile. I don't believe in coincidences. Though this is a nice one, if it is one.
I suppose fundamentally it's rather obvious. This girl wants something from you, Mr. Campan. Well, if she does and it's within my power to give, then I think that's only fair. Now, Dr. Koo, what is it that I could possibly help you with?
It doesn't take a genius to understand that I'm here for something. She kind of like coolly says that to the detective and then switches back over to the Don. Well, I think you know my question. I don't even have to ask.
The Don kind of gives a smile, a little bashfully, and I'm afraid I am not possessed of the same detectiving skills as our friend here. Would you mind just spelling it out for me nice and plain?
Is there anything that we can do about the situation?
Well, I'm afraid that's a big negatory. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. A little delay on our trip ain't hurt nobody, and it means we get to enjoy our vacation even longer. Again, the person on the ground just wails in despair at being late to wherever it is they're going.
Yeah, Zari just kind of like looks over at it and looks back to him. I mean, if there's something that we can do, I mean, it's there's got to be something, right? I mean, I've got magic.
Well, if your magic can fix the situation, then by all means, but as it stands, and Greylog, as you postulate just changing the weather yourself, he gives a bit of a smile, and that's a very admirable suggestion, Mr. Orchin, but I'm afraid that's not going to do us much good either. Snow's already fallen out of the sky. It's not going anywhere if the weather changes. Now, I suppose you could make it hot enough to just melt all of it, but, well, then we're all going to be just plumb uncomfortable, aren't we?
Don't know if I feel comfortable just sitting here waiting.
And Greylog, as you urge yourself a bit, that you can simply change the weather. The detective, for his part, kind of tilts their head to the side and... Well, Mr. Orchin, was it? If this is truly something you're capable of, then I suggest you stop suggesting it and start putting it into practice. You need a rest? Well, then I suggest you go and get one. And as for you, he turns his attention back to you, Asari. You think you may see a little bit of irritation from your previous slights.
She does not care.
But he kind of stares at you for a moment before kind of giving a sniff and turning his attention up at the ceiling of the train car. I do find it rather interesting that you seem very unwilling to wait and simply allow this downtime to resolve itself. That tells me that you're interested in getting to where you're going in a hurry. You did not argue with my previous observation of where it is you're going and what it is you're hoping to find there. That tells me that you think there is in fact a time limit where the Dawn does not see one. Am I correct?
Your reputation precedes you. She
Now-
crosses her arms.
And he mirrors you as he says, and what exactly could be swinging their own personal sword of Damocles over this car and everyone in it?
You tell me, greatest detective in the world.
Very well. And Greylog, as for your text question of, don't make a habit of it, but I will let you do it this time. But again, do not make a habit of that. No worries. Just, again, don't make a habit of it, but otherwise I'll allow it this time. But yeah, he kind of looks you over. Traces of gunpowder. A foreign metal I don't recognize. This appears to be Midgardian. The places you've traveled. Historical records. You're in battle with an organized group. Seems to be taking advantage of advanced technology of some kind. I recognize some of these designs, others not so much. If it's beyond even my formidable intellect, then it must be near superhuman levels of achievement technologically. Given that, it's likely that they have some sort of greater power they're getting their information from. Now, it could simply be an outer god of some form of technology, but I find that very unlikely, given that they likely would not be of the alignment to pursue such dangerous ends. Of course, you could be the dangerous ones. What am I saying? Of course you're not. So, given what we know, your enemies are likely the Boomer Gangers.
And I suppose it is very obvious the time crunch between our race and their race.
Indeed it is. Well, then I suppose you indeed really will wish to get to your destination post-haste, then. Well, then, let's hope your friend is as good as his word and can do something about this.
She admittedly looks over at Greylog a little worriedly.
If your friend proves himself as good as his word, I will perhaps be keeping an eye on you and your small little adventuring party. Perhaps you may be of some use to me and my considerable intelligence.
She gives a snort. You know, I thought I wanted that.
He simply gives a small sniff and looks away from you as he puts his hands back in his pockets and starts to walk back towards his cabin further down as Greylog starts to head back himself. What you want is hardly my concern, miss. Greylog? You return to your cabin. You meditate. About 10 minutes go by. And you all feel the chill outside begin to ebb away as the weather begins to warm. Greylog, as the sun moves into position and begins to broadcast its considerable heat, the snow begins to warble and melt. The passengers who can see what's happening and see the sky outside getting brighter and the temperature warmer begin to cheer, and as you file back in, everyone, your crew is cheering for you, the Dawn is congratulating you. Job well done, kid. Knew you had it in you. And the detective, with a grin and his arms crossed, leans against the side of the train car as you return. And over all the congratulations, as you can hear word being passed up to the conductor that once the snow is melted, we're good to keep moving. The detective gives you and Asari a grin, and Alfred and Avaben, you're able to hear it as well, as the detective smiling. Fundamentally, just as I suspected, you are going to make very good assistants. Very good assistants, indeed. He strides forward, and Alfred and Avaben, you're not familiar with the man in the slightest, other than Alfred having briefly heard the name mentioned by Asari. But he holds out a hand to each of you, and with a face that looks passingly happy, but does not at all convey the respect he should actually be showing greeting another person. Buffalo Custard Bath, world's greatest detective, at my service.
Who is he offering his hand to?
Just all of you.
Yeah, all of us.
Asari just looks at his hand and then looks back at him like, you've got to be kidding.
I will accept it. Alfred Glory.
Alfred Gorey.
Yeah.
No doubt a namesake of the pirate captain. The latest in a long line of fools he shanghaied into alleviating him of his curse.
Fool or not, I wish to help him, so I wished I managed it.
What I would like to know, after the way that you've treated all of, what makes you think that we want to assist you?
System.
You said assistance.
Well, the fundamentals are rather obvious, miss. Originally, this case held no intellectual merit for me. Someone of my considerable intelligence would simply be wasting his time. And potentially wasting his time with riffraff, if your intellectual capabilities weren't up to my snuff. While, of course, all of your intellects pale in comparison to mine, you have at least demonstrated a passing competency at resolving problems put in front of you, and I wish to have hands to do that sort of busy work on me, in case this case ends up putting more problems in my path.
Asari just looks at him unimpressed.
Well, we are busies, but if I could help along the way, I wouldn't mind.
In that case, assistant, I shall come and find you when the need presents itself. Otherwise, unless you have information concerning a case, do not talk to me for any reason. I don't care if you've been shot and you're bleeding out in the passenger car. You go find a doctor, not a detective. Are we clear?
Well, that makes sense. I will not disturb you.
Then we are on the same page. Let us hope for the sake of proving your intellectual merit that the rest of this train ride proves just as cumbersome as the first chunk of it. With that, he turns on his heel and makes his way back to his passenger car. As the passengers begin to disperse, as the snow slowly is eaten enough by Greylog's heat to allow the train's slow regaining of its locomotion. As all of you are left to ponder the new things you learned. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Now aboard the Tieshan Express, which has been significantly upgraded since we last saw it. The party has discovered that mayhaps the Dawn is more trustworthy than he seems. Under the effective zone of truth, he explained that he is in fact a half-god. a child of a human and a god who, in an attempt to appear more personable and less above to the mortals he lived with, the Don simply started to lie about the truth of what he is, knowing that everyone would see him as either a threat or potentially someone to get something out of. But when pushed, he did reveal the truth. However, all is still not well on this little train vessel. You have met the best detective in the world, who indeed appears to be brilliant, but with all of the social skills of a damp dishcloth.
Hey, hold on. There's
And
someone on Perusia that might have something to say about that title.
That's detective.
And Greylog has finally been given a clear message by the nature spirits. He will be forgiven by the spirits of the Crusades if, and only if, he proves that he can give for others.
I guess I'll learn what that message means.
But in the meantime, the train takes you closer and closer to your destination. Although it remains to be seen how much the snowfall might slow you down, and what other obstacles may come up on this trip, especially given that the detective seems like he expects there will be further delays and wants reinforcements on dealing with them quickly. We shall have to see. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer who's also a filthy detective. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get your podcasts from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/OddTornado Check out Odd Tornado Productions Official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon, that link to be posted. On Ko-fi at kofi.com/OddTornadoProductions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd, TNO capitalized, to get immediate updates whenever we go live, as well as updates on all of our other projects. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel political conspiracy if they could stop stabbing each other in the back long enough.